Welcome into Weather Wednesday here at New England Storm Center. So, the first nor'easter of the fall to spring season is upon us for this weekend. It's going to take a track that is common for New England, where you have a primary low that's going to move to the north of New England, with a secondary coastal low that will form to the south of New England. As the coastal low moves either very close to New England offshore or right over New England overland, it will be strengthening. The strengthening will happen as the primary low weakens. So basically, the coastal low will become the primary low, but it will be strengthening. The coastal low will be strengthening as it moves over New England on Saturday. So all of this will lead to, despite being several days out, there's a lot of disagreement among models at this time on a lot of things, but they are in agreement. They've been in pretty good agreement really since the beginning that the system would kick off with an initial shield of rain coming through starting Friday afternoon through the evening, with the strongest rain and the heaviest rain coming through Saturday during the day and Saturday evening, with showers lingering into Sunday. But the showers will be clearing up from south to north on Sunday, so that is going to be the timing that is very well agreed upon among the models. So as for the impact, it looks like New England is in for a general half an inch to maybe an inch and a half of rain for most of New England, with the storm strengthening as it moves over New England, which will be happening Saturday into Saturday evening. It looks like Maine and the White Mountains will get the most rainfall out of this. There are some hints that are putting the rainfall in these areas up to 2 inches of rain. And with the strengthening low, it looks like it's going to drop to about the 980 millibar range for the central pressure. So that could lead to some gusty winds, although at this time, winds are not looking damaging from the storm anywhere in New England, but some gusty winds will be possible, most likely on the front end of the storm as it moves in, but even more so on the back end on Sunday and Monday will likely be very breezy and gusty as the storm pulls away. Wind gusts, expected wind gusts are again, it's below the threshold for damaging, but maybe 35 to 45 mile per hour wind gusts for much of New England. This will be hammered down as we get closer to the storm, of course, exactly how windy it will be. But overall, it's looking like this is going to produce basically another Saturday soaker for New England with, not an overly significant storm. It's just the timing of these storms has not been ideal for a while. Every single weekend for a while now, we've been tracking a storm. They haven't all hit like last weekend. Most of New England did stay dry, but there was a storm. There were actually two storm systems out there, one to New England's north, one that dropped to the south. Just the timing and the track of those storms did not produce much rain in New England, but the storms were there. So we've been tracking storms every single weekend in New England for the past few months, basically. They haven't all hit, but this one is looking to hit, and it's going to produce another Saturday storm. As for the rate of the rainfall, the atmosphere will be primed for some heavier downpours to develop, as the atmosphere will be very moisture rich, as the storm may be able to tap into some tropical moisture, and that would, of course, allow for some heavier downpours to be embedded with the rain. Now, the consistency of the rain, I mentioned this in a post that I put on NewEnglandStormCenter.com yesterday, that depending on exactly how the system evolves, will it be more scattered downpours, or will it be more of like a consistent all day washout type of rain? It's currently looking like we are leaning more toward one organized storm that would lead toward a more consistent rainfall, like a steady rainfall all day instead of on and off downpours. So we will be watching that. And of course, being a few days out, we will nail down timing and rainfall intensity in forecast posts Thursday and Friday on NewEnglandStormCenter.com. So on the back end of the storm on Sunday, again, it's looking like there will be lingering showers throughout the day, but they will become progressively more and more scattered around as the day goes on. And honestly, it seems like Sunday is will probably be a pretty good day. So again, like we've seen many weekends recently, Sunday will likely be salvageable for most of New England, while Saturday is going to be a cloudy, rainy day. It will be mild though on Friday and during the storm on Saturday as it potentially taps into some tropical moisture and humidity gets elevated. It won't be a cold rain. It's looking like it will be in the 60s for most on Saturday. So not an overly cold rain. This isn't like one of those really raw, 40-degree pouring rain kind of days. So at least you have that going for you if you have to be outside on Saturday. On Sunday, much colder air will be wrapping around the system, the coldest air of the season. And I realize saying coldest air of the season in mid October isn't saying much, but it will be much colder on the back end of the system as it pulls away. And as you can see on some of the model runs that I've put up, you can see some blue developing. Yes, that is some mountain snow showers that could occur as the rain showers change over to snow showers on the back end of the storm in the mountains as we get toward that time of the year. It looks like Monday will be the coldest day, or I should say the chilliest day. It's not going to be, winter cold, but it's going to be the chilliest day on the back end of this system. There are hints of a warm up later next week, though. But many areas of New England that a lot of areas of New England haven't even seen a frost yet this season. And many areas, it looks like Monday night will approach or even drop below freezing for the first time. Again, this will be the coldest night since the spring for many locations. That is Monday night, again, before what looks like a warm up is in the picture for later in the week, which I did mention in the October weather outlook, I labeled it fall roller coaster, and that's because I was expecting a very up and down month temperature wise, and that is playing out so far. As we just had an up. Well, we're going into an up now toward the end of this week, and then we're gonna drop down during the storm. But it looks like later next week we're gonna go right back up. So the up and down forecast that we predicted for October is playing out so far as we start approaching late October now. So in a Weather Wednesday episode in the springtime, I mentioned a kind of an interesting weather trend that has been occurring in New England over now the past decade or so, where every other summer seems to be hotter than the last. And the hotter summers have been on the even number years, while the cooler summers have been on the odd number years. So in the spring, when I brought this up, I said this dates back to 2016, where 2016 was hot, 2017 was cooler, 18 was hot, 19 was cooler, 20 it was hot, not quite as hot as the others, but it was hotter. 2021 was cooler, and 2022 was very hot. And I mentioned that I thought that 2023 would continue this trend of hotter, cooler, hotter, cooler. And I did think that we are going to have a very average summer with a lot of, low 80s dominating, similar to 2019. So the trend did continue. It wasn't so much an average summer. It was a very unaverage summer in a lot of ways, but the June was cooler. July was actually warmer than average with consistent and persistent high levels of humidity, and August was cooler. This led to this trend generally continuing, and I've been keeping track of daily temperatures in Rockingham County, New Hampshire. Again, the numbers on the screen are for Rockingham County, New Hampshire, but as I said in the spring, the general trend can be applied to all of New England. but those are the number of 80 plus degree days every summer that occurred, and the even numbered years have produced 80 or more 80 degree days, while the odd number years have produced 60 or 70. Of course, 2020 is the outlier there with only 75, but this trend did generally continue, with 2023 seeing 72 80 plus degree days in Rockingham County, New Hampshire. So this kind of bucked the trend, kind of like 2020 bucked the trend on the hotter years, where it only had 75 and didn't get to that 80 mark. But and here in 2023, we did exceed 60, which 2017, 19, and 21 all had less than 70 80 degree days. 2023 was able to jump up to 72. But overall, the trend did continue. There was very little consistent summer heat amid all the rain and the downpours and the flooding. So, yeah, the trend continued. So, we are still rolling with this trend. So, what does that mean for 2024? Get ready for a sizzling summer next year. Again, we'll see if this trend does continue. It's an interesting trend that I've noticed as I've started keeping track of daily temperatures for Rockingham County. So again, it's really just an interesting trend more than anything, but we're gonna keep bringing this up until the trend is officially over, which it's still going. So we'll see what happens in the summer of 2024, and we will see what happens there. So that is going to do it for this edition of the Weather Wednesday podcast here at New England Storm Center. So as always, thank you for listening, thank you for watching, and you will hear from me again next Wednesday.